where James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories our way. For Patreon.com. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
Rebel Scum.
Rebel Scum.
Did that play at all?
Yeah, I heard it.
Well,
And we're live this time.
My internet
For
is
real.
on fire today. In all the worst ways.
No, your audio's
where's
good.
take two? Where's take two? We haven't done a take two. As long as you can hear me, I really don't care. Hi, Brock.
Hi, James. This is the Rebel Scum the Rebel Scum podcast, and we're talking Star Wars.
Rebel Bum Podcast.
Oh. All right. What are we talking about this week, James?
Okay, look, we're going to talk about this. I didn't want to. It's not in the descriptions. Patty Jenkins has come out and said the Rogue Squadron is not dead. People are talking like they care. Brock, I've got to be completely honest with you. Dale, I have moved outside. I am in Hoth. If the internet is choppy, it's because it is freezing. And Tauntauns do smell better on the inside. So, look, Patty Jenkins, is not doing Wonder Woman Part 3 anymore, 1991, whatever it would have been called. And now she's saying that Rogue Squadron is not dead. She moved away from Rogue Squadron to work on Wonder Woman 3. I guess it sounds like the door is still open for Rogue Squadron. But Brock, and not to sound like a negative Nancy, if the movie comes out, I am there opening night. Blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
But until the movie is shot, edited, scored, and I'm in the theater, I have no I have no faith in it, and I do not care about it. I'm tired of hearing about Rogue Squadron. I'm done with it, Brock. I'm moving on. It's over. Goodbye, Rogue Squadron. Look, if it comes out, I'm hoping it's the best Star Wars movie we ever get. But we've talked about this for 2 years now. This stupid movie. I'm over it, Brock. It's the one that got away. That ship has sailed. I mean, I'll swim to it when it comes out, but that ship for now has sailed for me. Goodbye, Patty Jenkins. We're through.
Whoa, he's gone. He's just completely gone. And there he is. The wonders of virtual backgrounds. No, I agree. I mean, like we always say, it's like until we get a trailer, nothing's real. Because I feel like trailers are like, yeah, you're gonna put this out. There hasn't been a situation where they put out a trailer and something didn't come out, right? Yeah, but you're right. It's like if you make a Rogue Squadron movie and you put it in theaters, one or if not two of us will see. I think if any Star Wars movie come out, both of us are going to are going to go watch this. When it comes to books and the shows, we may not both watch 100%. Everything. But you know what I mean? Like, I mean, we are a Star Wars podcast. If one of us isn't like eating that juicy content, then like, what are we doing here? So, no, I fully agree. I mean, it sounds like a great idea. I'm getting to a point where I'm like, Patty Jenkins, why are you a big deal? Sorry about it.
Look, everyone loved Wonder Woman 1. Right, it came in like Miley Cyrus, and then the world was her oyster, and Wonder Woman 2 happened, and I was one of 7 people who enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. I was like, it was fine. It was what it was. It probably could have been a lot better. There's some weird choices in it for sure, her star kind of fell, kind of like the Game of Thrones guys when they were in, kind of like who else? Someone else. Oh, Colin Trevorrow's star. So,
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I think she's still a talented director, and if the movie happens, it happens. I question because I don't know if you heard this, but there was a rumor a little while ago. Like, and when I say a little while ago, I mean like a week or a week and a half ago, where Rogue Squadron was going to apparently follow Poe Dameron as they search for like Oshia of Bastoon's like rebirth or something weird. And look, whatever, it sounded fake, but even if that's the plot, why is that a movie? You know, like now that we have these series, why is that a movie? Why is Rogue Squadron a movie? Why am I going to $13 to $25 to sit in the theater to watch it when I have those things on my TV set that I pay $12 monthly for?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say. It's just like it's just very strange. Like she's backing out of the Star Wars movie. She's backing out of Wonder Woman. It's like, what do you got on the horizon then? Like, unless you're gonna, you know what? That's not fair of me to say. Maybe she has an amazing project coming out. I don't know.
No, I think Rogue Squadron is her next project because she backed out of Cleopatra. She no longer doing Wonder Woman, and Rogue Squadron's all that's left. And I kind of feel like she realized that as well. But anyway, look, we're both going to go see the movie. I'm just tired of hearing about this movie. It's been literally 2 years, and all we have from it is her on the tarmac. Like, that's like, I don't care. So, moving on. 7 years ago, roughly, we're going to do, in 2 weeks, you, me, and Fantasia are going to do 5 years of The Last Jedi, which I believe today is the 5th year anniversary of The Last Jedi. 7 years, 2 years before that, though, 7 years ago, The Force Awakens, Brock. I just got a Facebook memory of you in the Poe Dameron mask and helmet with your thumbs up from when we went to the pop-up shop downtown. Yeah, it was good times. Force Awakens 7 years ago. It was, and the reason why that to me has been 7 years of Disney Star Wars movies. You know, call it whatever you want, but 7 years of what they've produced. And a lot before we doing Star Wars on January 1st. And The Force Awakens is obviously on that list because we rank all 11 live action theatrical films. So it's obviously on that list. And where it ranks is, I don't know if it's a surprise. I don't think it'll surprise anybody. But it was a movie going into it that it was exciting. Like Star Wars was back, and the movie was filled with nostalgia. How do you feel about it 7 years later?
About the same. I group it with New Hope because it's basically a New Hope for like 2020. Or 2018 or whatever, 2017. Whatever year you just said. 15. No, it's still good. 15, whatever. Like now that we're gonna talk about Last Jedi, I'm like, I should rewatch that movie. But I'll probably rewatch Force Awakens. It's like it is interesting in the era of so much content that it's like I haven't physically bought a Star Wars movie on a physical thing since probably Force Awakens. I believe I have digital copies of
that was my last one.
Last Jedi and perhaps definitely Rogue One, but it's like Disney Plus, and like those movies came out before Disney. I think
not the Rise
would Disney
of
Plus have been out before Rise of Skywalker? Yes, because Mandalorian was out at the same time.
Yeah, so it came out in November. Yeah, it came out in November, and then Rise of Skywalker was December, so it was like a month later.
But my point is, like, I don't buy a physical copy of anything, and yeah, granted, I'll definitely watch the movie on Disney Plus at least once. But like, it's not like the back in the day. Now we have it at our like fingers, and we have so much content on all other social media that's like, yeah. I mean, the shows are the first thing that I've watched numerous times at this point. I mean, it's the newest content, so it's not really surprising. So, wow, that's today. Is today the 13th?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the biggest. I know we got to read Dalen's tidbit here. Force, score, and 7 years ago. Did you know that 1975 20th Century Fox officially greenlit Star Wars for production? Hashtag nerd trivia. Hashtag Star Wars fact. Hashtag today's Star Wars. Today's the 14th, Dale. So yeah, he corrected himself yesterday.
Gotcha. Right on, man. But yeah, so like
I had
that's
some
cool.
mixed nuts from Costco and I just choked on a peanut.
Yeah, we saw it.
That is a cool piece of trivia. Look at that. 47 years ago.
Right
Their delay is amazing.
Oh yeah.
For me, though, it's 7 years of it. Yeah, Disney Plus is the biggest takeaway of it all, clearly, that we've gotten. Force Awakens is still it was the movie that they tried to get the feed. Actually, the Force Awakens, the coolest part of the Force Awakens is that that's what what's it called? The Disney place is called. What's the place called in Disney? Bendu?
Oh,
What's
Galaxy's Edge.
Bogaba? Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge is was supposed to be original trilogy, and then Bob Iger saw the dailies from Force Awakens, and he made it the sequel trilogy because of that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I like that you ran a
choke while
marathon
they
before
do
this.
Seriously, those Costco mixed nuts. I might have to get a water.
I'm in a full.
I usually have
body
a water.
sweat.
I don't have anything near me. If you don't mind, my wife is going to get me water because she cares about me. Anyway, that's the biggest takeaway for me, though, is of the 7 years since Force Awakens, it's been Disney Plus and what they've been able to do with Disney Plus with Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor. All of that aside, it's the world that Andor's fantastic, but the world around it now that we're getting Skeleton Crew and what's coming up, what we're hearing about that, and what that might be about, and how it might tie into like Ahsoka and how Ahsoka's going to tie into Mando and how Mando ties in right to the Clone Wars. It's been, for me, that's been awesome stuff to see. Thank you. My glass, the Hoth makes my glass disappear.
Yeah, that's what makes it disappear. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Like, I feel like we're just sort of waiting for the next like big like gathering where they can announce whatever. I mean, like, what's next on the docket? Mandalorian in the beginning of the year, or no?
March.
God, March. When is Bad Batch? That's something. Those two are kind of like the next things, right?
January 23rd, I think. Yeah, Bad Batch is next, and then Mando season 3.
Yeah.
Then I imagine we get Ahsoka, and then end the year with Skeleton Crew. It sounds like.
Yeah, there's no big like gathering anytime soon outside of maybe San Diego. D23 is probably, or well, the thing in England, March Mando Madness. Thank you. The celebrations in England next year. That's not early next year, is it? Let's not at the top.
I think it's April.
It's April. Okay, I mean, still first quarter, I suppose. So it's like, I don't know. It's
I like that with the delay, I said April, and you're like, oh, you don't know off the top of your head? Oh, it's April?
There you go. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know, man. Like, it's just make something. I mean, I think this is why I give into the books and the comics. Is like, I just want to just think about Star Wars. It isn't that difficult. So, I mean, like, the next Fallen Order Jedi Lost game, like, I'm more excited about that than anything else because I've seen something with that. So
I haven't watched the trailer yet for that.
Yeah, it looks pretty sick.
I've seen like pieces of the trailer like without audio. I love the first game. Aaron loved the first game. Aaron basically, I think I mentioned that she beat the first game, but let me take on Vader at the end to actually beat the game. But she loved it, and it's a lot of fun. I hope the new one is on the older consoles though, so you and I can both enjoy it without having to shell out $800 to $900 on something.
I mean,
Otherwise, I boycott.
okay. I mean, you have PS4, so I don't know if there's an equivalent to the Xbox Game Pass for that. I'm just curious if Fallen Order is on Game Pass because I feel like a lot of people try games. Yeah, I think a lot of people try games because of that. So it's like the beauty of like I don't know if it's gonna be like that is true. We are in video gaming, we're at a juxtaposition of like when are you gonna stop making those games? But I mean, there's always a holdout. Like the 3DS just stopped making games or stopped like being the game. What is it called? The Nintendo store for the 3DS just like stopped like in the middle of this year. So I don't know. I mean, and like I said before, like that game, like the cinematics are so good that you're like, if you don't want to play the game, just watch the YouTube clips because they're awesome. So yeah, but like my point is though, it's I as much as all these ideas sound great until there's something, it's like cool, man, whatevs.
The Real Red 5 showing up saying pew pew, which is arguably what Star Wars is all about. That's the thing though, is Fallen Order is coming out, and we still there's still a lack of Star Wars video games. 7 years of movies, 10 years since the purchase, and we've gotten Battlefront 1, 2, Squadrons, and Fallen Order. Now Fallen Order 1 and 2. That's it. Like it's been lackluster to say the least in the video game market, I think. And Fallen Order is fantastic and all, but I think if you got to someone like Andrew Fantasia, he liked it, but he said it was too short for him. Now, for me, it was fine, but for him, compared to other video games, you should. Yeah. I would argue that you should. Then it is too short. Maybe he has a point, and that is even more problematic in respect to the video game market for Star Wars.
I don't know. You just got to make your vision, right? Like you're not going to make everyone happy. So it's like you could make an open sandbox game where you're just doing whatever you want, but then you might lose the thread. And like Star Wars, I feel is always like stories, right? It's not like let's go and do these side quests. No, we're gonna follow a story. Like there's a collectible part of like Fallen Order, but it's like I get what Andrew's saying, but at the same note, it's like not everything is Assassin's Creed. Suck it. So
I've only played one Assassin's Creed game, and that was on the DS or 3DS, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yes. But Apostate. Oh, yes.
Is there anything about the Force Awakens that you are glad, like, because always this reminds me of A New Hope. Oh, it's A New Hope. They just made A New Hope. Is there anything in it that you're like, no, okay, maybe it is, but because they did this, it kind of, you're like something in it that sticks out to you still to this day? That's what I'm trying to say. Something that sticks out to you to this day?
I think like Force Awakens does more for like the lore of the Force than New Hope does, which it's kind of unfair to compare because they're like George Lucas is just like, so like we got space wizards and they got swords and like they can move stuff with their mind, and that's revolutionary when you think about it, and you can see what he does with that. But like there was like stuff set up in Force Awakens where you're like, oh cool, it's like he has like she's called by Luke's lightsaber, and then like the whole idea of like Maz is not a Jedi but like is sensitive to the Force and is aware and like stuff like that, and there's more to it than just that. It's very that was like, oh, like I feel like after that movie came out I was like, okay, then maybe we'll come back to this and this and this and this, and like I think maybe it's just because there's like a new movie and we haven't had a new movie in 20 years, so we're like, where could we go? Right? So it would be nice to go back to those days and be like, what did I think was going to happen next? And I'm sure our podcast, we have a couple like archived versions of what we thought were going to happen. So
Yeah, I think that was my biggest. What do I like? There's a few like the Force Awakens. I think it was like Kylo stopping the blasters with his hand. For me, it's like the cooler moments like that. I wish they didn't keep things so secretive and mysterious. Like, who's this person? What's that person? Where's this go? Like that, because a lot of that ended up falling flat. And you're like, what's? And sometimes, not everything needs to be a question. Sometimes you just have to give the answer and let it be.
yeah.
But it did a lot. It really brought back that nostalgic feel, and I always call the movie a donut, right? Like it's delicious, but it's up to calories, but it's delicious because there's, I think it was for the Last Jedi was like your vegetables. It was like this is the donut, this are your veggies, and then the Rise of Skywalker is like you can eat. When you have those steaks and you have to finish the steak and the potato and the beans and the carrots and the peas and the muffin. And that's what the Rise of Skywalker is. It's just a lot going on. Dale's got something else before he heads to work. I don't know if he's asked it or not because the leg is so bad on my end. But I kind of want to see if he's got something coming or not. Oh, Brock, this just happened 9 minutes ago. James Gunn has said that Henry Cavill will not be playing Superman going forward in the DC. They're going to have a younger Superman, and it will not be played by Henry Cavill. So get back to The Witcher. Get back to The Witcher.
That's fine. So, like, last I checked, he didn't really seem to want to be in that movie, but whatever. Or he didn't want to be Superman anymore, even though it's like, oh, but maybe I could be. And look, here I am in Black Adam. Spoilers.
I haven't seen Black Adam yet.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, no, you're right. I thought he was a fantastic Superman, but they blew it. I mean, he's been Superman for 9 years, and they blew it. Like his time has come and gone. And the thing is I thought he was a fantastic Superman. Obviously, I love Christopher Reeve Superman. I think they're gonna. And Brendan Routh was fine. I think they're gonna find someone that's gonna be a good Superman. That's just how it's gonna be at the end of the day. So I don't think we have to worry about it. And apparently they've reached out to, this is a rumor though, but that's actually coming from James Gunn. He tweeted that out. He just wanted everybody to know, like, I guess to stop he's pretty good at shooting down speculation. Like earlier today, I don't know if you saw, Brock, that it was a report from Variety saying that the Matt Reeves Batman was going to be the Batman in the DC universe. And James Gunn shut that down pretty much immediately. Here's Dale's comment right here. The whole controversy over the crew of Skeleton Crew, 3 sides to every story there are, likely a few messing around. They got everyone yelled at, creating tension, the rest of shooting. I don't know what he's talking about.
That's a lot of fragment sentences all in a row.
Wait, are we missing a controversy over Skeleton Crew?
Let's look it up. What's up, Star Wars? Skeleton.
What up, Star Wars?
News.
Oh, this is a Broadway show.
Here we go. Production for Star Wars Skeleton Crew has been rough. One, by most accounts, one crew member who obviously remained anonymous said the run on Skeleton Crew has been rougher than all the Star Wars productions combined for most of them. They were quick to stress they do not think the show is going to suffer for the production's difficulties, but we sure did on this one. Some are frustrated with the claim that it just sounds like people are mad to work on set.
Am I the worst at Googling things?
I don't know.
I still can't find it.
It doesn't really say anything. It just sounds like someone pissed off and got hold of the internet. It does say here, sources have said Jude Law's character is a teacher, and the show is like a field trip into and out of the unknown Star Wars universe with the Goonies. I mean, we kind of knew that. Yeah, Jude Law's part instructor of the students, part Bran, the older brother in Goonies, in the series as they contend with pirates in unknown territories. Yeah. No, yeah, and then all the other stuff we've seen. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure every production has angry people on it. I don't know. That sucks. I hope it's not true, or I hope it's just like, someone having a bad day, or I don't think film is that as luxurious as we think it is. So I don't know, but it sounds like some of these people might have been on other productions.
Mm-hmm. As long as we get the show, I'm okay. Real Red 5 says, how did you guys like Andor?
Loved it.
Hated it. Terrible show.
What did you think?
It wasn't
Real
Star
Red
Wars,
5?
Brock.
No.
Yeah, what did you think? It wasn't Star Wars at all. There wasn't any alien. Not one alien did I see. There was no lightsabers, no Jedha. Jyn Erso wasn't around. I don't understand what the point of the show was. Bye, Dale. Have a good evening. No, I'm joking. I absolutely love Andor. Andor was fantastic. Real Red 5, let us know what you think. We talked about Andor. Andor season 2, I'm really curious because there's going to be so many time jumps. I think this episode, season 1, I had a lot of time jumps that we just weren't aware of, like months at a time. And I feel maybe season 2 will feel something like that.
Yeah.
Because time doesn't really matter. Like, time doesn't make sense in Star Wars as it is. Like Empire Strikes Back, I don't know how long that movie takes place over the span of. Is it a day? Is it 2 years? Is it a decade? I have no idea, right? Obviously, between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, there's time because Anakin ages. But other than that, time doesn't really matter when it comes to Star Wars.
Yeah, no. It's
big shoes to fill, though.
I mean, and it's always the vibe of Star Wars where you're just sort of dropped into the action, which is always nice, right? So.
Yep. Do you want to go to Never Tell Me the Odds?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hold on, we can't until I do that. And
successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Nothing's working.
Never tell me the odds. I heard it. Don't worry. Never Tell Me the Odds brought to you, me, and James from patreon.com/Rebel Scum podcast. If you like what we do, why don't you go help us out so we can get rid of this internet lag? Go to patreon.com/Rebel Scum podcast. See what we have tier wise, and when you give us a little money, we give you early content when we can create it, and then you become one of the wonderful group of people that we talk about every single show. Sometimes they're even here, and those people are Heidi Feder, executive producer, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aton, Jeff Wilson, Phil Staniforth, Rez, Scott D, Josh Price,
Matt W, Frank Perkins, Neo Lowry, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Disney Desi, Charlotte, Kayla Davis, Dale Erdman, who just left, Girls with Sabers, who are saying goodbye to YouTube, and the Den of Nerds.
Well, what
who
happened
tweeted
with
out that James Gunn hates Henry Cavill, and maybe.
What did you say? Girls with Sabers are leaving YouTube?
They did a goodbye for now. Yep.
Oh,
Goodbye
are they
for
taking
now.
a break?
Taking a break. I think we all need to take a break from
Right on.
Kit Kats.
What are today's odds, James?
I'm writing them as we speak. Never tell me the odds. Skeleton Crew will end on a cliffhanger. Thank you all, Patreon. Will Skeleton Crew end on a cliffhanger that will resolve in season 4 of Mando?
Ooh. I'm gonna go full Brock on that because that's kind of cool, but it's like we have Ahsoka too, so it's like will they all kind of
after Ahsoka though?
No, that's true. Whatever, but you know what I mean. I feel like certain things have to figure it out. But I'm gonna go full Brock on this because I like it, but I don't know. So
we got Real Red 5 saying so damn good. I want more adult Star Wars. I think you're gonna get it. And Andor season 2. We'll see. Acolyte is the one I'm most curious about, like in terms of tone and all that. For Skeleton Crew, and on a cliffhanger that will result in season 4 of Mando, I'm going to go full Brock as well. I feel like it's something that you could do, and it could be fun. And I mean, again, we talked about this last week a little bit. I feel like if they would just call this like Mando, and then these are subtitles to Mando, it might make more sense. There are a lot of rumors about what this show is, though. So I'm going to go full Brock because there's a lot about me that says it's not going to happen as well. Diego, I'm sure you have this in the news, so we won't dive into it too much, but Diego Luna was nominated for a Golden Globe. Will Andor season 2 have a director nominated for Best Director in the Golden Globes? Will the director get nominated for a Golden Globe for Andor season 2?
I'm gonna go 75%. Because like Andor really had a vibe like every other like Netflix, HBO, Prime show, or like even though all Star Wars have sort of like an opening credits, but like this had that boom, this feels like a real show that you would see on, not that it is a real show, but you know what I mean? It was like, this is not a genre specific show. This is just one of your, I'm going to watch an hour drama show. So I mean, I'm going to go 75 because, you know, if it's getting enough, if the first season's getting enough attention, perhaps they'll get more bona fides in the next oncoming seasons.
The problem with director, I guess, is there's so much quality television out there that like it would be tough. But I thought like this season had some of the best directing on TV. I don't watch a lot of the shows that would get nominated. I haven't looked at the list, but I don't watch a lot of those shows, so I can't speak to them. I'm sure they're great. I'm going to go 49% because I still feel like because it's Star Wars, they're going to shy away from that.
Yeah.
Diego Luna is a huge leap in the right direction, though, so kudos to that.
Yeah.
But 49% for me because I think it should, but I don't think it will. Am I the final odd? The final odd today is Saw Gerrera will be almost a co-lead in season 2 of Andor. Saw Gerrera will be almost a co-lead, kind of like a little bit more than Luthen this season. Let's say just a touch more than Luthen was this season.
No, I think that's a possibility. So I'm going to go 60% on it because, like, they did a really good job on having a whole bunch of storylines that kind of didn't interact a ton. They affected each other, but they didn't really intertwine as a ton, and it was still enjoyable. So it's like having a story driven with Saw or being one of the main characters. Like, how different is it from, like, just following Mon Mothma around? So it's like, it's a nice different view of like the rebellion. I would love it. So yeah, I'm gonna go 60% on that.
That's high. I'll go 53% because I think we're gonna get more Saw, and I think that was probably part of what drew. I mean, I don't know. Forrest Whitaker just plays his character all the time, so I don't know. But I feel like him being promised more meat going forward. He had some good scenes though. Like he did have good meat in this one. Real Revive not for live action Ahsoka, but do you think it would be better in animation? That's a good question.
I mean, we know Ahsoka works in animation. I mean, they just did the Tales of the Jedi, so there's a couple more Ahsoka stories. But I would always lean more towards live action because one was like, oh my god, it's real, it's a thing. But like this Ahsoka, as much as it exists to its own, it's like it's existing in the Mandoverse. So Mandoverse is live action. So let's go. But give me Ahsoka. Just keep giving me Ahsoka. Animated and then live. Like Ashley Eccleston did a great job. Let's keep her working. I don't know.
I think she probably works. She works in animation. You're right. I don't know how to say it, but I tweeted out earlier, like today or yesterday. I'm like, it's wild that my parents know who Ahsoka is. Like, they know who she is now, you know.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't had she not made her way into live action.
Yeah.
So while I think they would be able to do more in live, it's also going to be tough to say because it also feels like it's going to be really tied into Rebels in a lot of ways. So it might be better in the animation. It might be because of that factor. Like all of a sudden, my parents who now know who Ahsoka is, I have to find out who Hera is, and stuff. And I'm sure they're doing it in a way that'll work. But yeah, no, I think live action is the way to go. And I'm curious though how you tie in like live action to a cartoon show that came out 7 years ago now. Like that's where my head's at is how does that work in a way where I'm going to watch it with Aaron, and Aaron's going to have never seen Rebels, and she never will want to watch Rebels, but she'll want to watch the Ahsoka show. So I think that's a valid point. Would it be better in animation? I think it's better to be live action because I think the money is in live action.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because it's like we've kind of witnessed this with Bo-Katan in live action, but like Bo-Katan wasn't a main character, and like Ahsoka can interact with Bo-Katan, and Mando can talk with Bo-Katan, but like that's all kind of relatively something we haven't seen before. Will we get the same like importance when we watch this Ahsoka show and inevitably see a Ezra character? Is it just going to be flashbacks of like stuff we've seen from Rebels, but in live action, which that would be awesome. But like, it's like, will people that have never seen it be affected? And hopefully if the storytelling is good enough, it won't matter. It's going to be very, very interesting. I'm super psyched because it's like Hera's in it.
They're all solid characters.
Yeah, like it's like pretty much everyone. Can you imagine a live action Zeb shows up? Woo! Woo! That would be amazing. I'd be like, oh no, they don't even like make him like a regular character in it. It's just the Easter egg scene at the end of the first season. You're like, he just walks into a room. You're like, no one else will get it. It's like,
do you think what's his alien species called? A Zeb, a Zuber? Do you think they smell bad? Like, do you think they smell like wet dog constantly?
I don't think so, because there's one Jedi version of that in Fallen Order, and he got in close proximity to. God, why am I terrible at remembering names? What's the main
space deodorant? Space deodorant. All right, you got the news?
I too have the news. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. It's time for the Hollow News.
Hollow News. Hollow News, the news you need to know right now. If you're in the mood for some art, why don't you go and buy some right now? Pop culture art fans have been patiently waiting for this moment, and now IO9 can reveal it's finally here. Mondo and Acme Archives are teaming up with artist Jason Edmiston for an ongoing series of Star Wars prints in the style of Edmiston's popular Eyes Without a Face series. The first two from the recent show, Obi-Wan Kenobi, go on sale Tuesday, December 13th. That's this week. And while you can see a crop of, or it's basically it's a painting like this. And one is Obi-Wan and one is Vader. Sorry, I don't have a picture. You can check that out on the IO9 website. The Master's Lament and Fallen Apprentice are the names of these two pieces by Jason Edmiston. Are a 9x5 inch Gilsey, I never know how to pronounce this, being released in a timed edition from 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, December 13th through midnight to Friday, December 16th. So if you're listening to us right now or tomorrow or whatever, you still have time. And they both go for $35 each. They're quite cool. And if you need some more Star Wars art, go on down to mondoshop.com. They are currently there. New Black Series is coming out, and it's because of Return of the Jedi. It seems hard to believe, but the 40th anniversary of Star Wars as Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, is right around the corner. As with all the things Star Wars, an anniversary means all sorts of ways to commemorate the milestone. Collider is excited to exclusively unveil on one of these commemorative items a Gamorrean Guard action figure available for pre-order from Target on December 14th. Released as part of a Star Wars ongoing Bring Home the Galaxy event, the remarkably detailed figure, which stands 6 inches tall, comes in a classic Kenner-inspired packaging and features 3 movie-inspired accessories and a Return of the Jedi-inspired outfit as well. As with Hasbro's other figures, the Gamorrean Guard features multiple points of articulation, allowing fans and collectors brave enough to take it out of the package to pose it however they like. The figure also features 2 changeable facial expressions, one more sedate and the other more aggressive, because life on Tatooine is anything but predictable. In our final story today, High Republic will continue the saga of the High Republic Phase 2. George Mann's upcoming Battle of Jedha audiobook originally follows two Jedi Master Creighton's son and Jedi Knight Ida Forte as they look to broker a peace between representatives of Aram and Orono. The 2 planets have been locked in the Forever War, a long-standing conflict that seems to finally have hope for an end. But not all are pleased to see the Jedi get involved. You can head over to StarWars.com to get a first listen of the Battle of Jedha, which arrives in audio form on January 3rd, 2023, followed by the hardcover edition on February 14, 2023. The audiobook original includes a score and sound effects as well as a full cast, which is also revealed on StarWars.com. So go on there if you want. If you're a huge radio drama person, these audiobooks are awesome. I know the Tempest Runner was the one they did last series, so I have yet to listen to it, but I heard it's amazing. And this has been your Hello News.
Lasat. Thank you.
Red 5.
Yeah. Lasat. Top 5.
Red 5 standing by in the chat.
We need to do. We need to have a statistician off to the side, and every time we don't know, they just it's Lasat. Like, oh, frick! If only we knew Star Wars. There's so much to know in my brain. I just can't handle it. I'm very tired also. I should put that in. That's my excuse. Top 5 TFA moments. Top 5 Force Awakens moments on the spot for you, Brock. I forgot to write this.
Nice.
I thought it was a different top 5, and then I couldn't remember what it was. We're going to do top 5 TFA moments because it has been 7 years. Last Jedi, 5 years since Last Jedi. We're going to do, me, you, and Andrew Fantasia are going to do it, and we're going to debate whether or not that movie destroyed my soul or not, because I can't handle, because there's no movie I hate hearing people talk about more than The Last Jedi. Because either you like it and you're wrong, or you can't stand it and you're wrong. And it's like, well, maybe that Muppet fish Luke catches should have sang a song. That's where I stand on The Last Jedi. It is, I will say this, it's actually it's a good rewatch. All right, top 5 Force Awakens moment. My number 5. Oh, you must be so brave. No. Mine's just her lines.
That was mine too. Can you hear me? There we go. I was staring at your virtual background while I wasn't paying attention. Hold on, let me adjust. It's perfect because my number 5 is like, you must be so brave.
Yes.
Yeah, I think most of my favorites are going to be like Chewbacca moments.
100%. My number 4, another Star Wars classic. Oh, you're cold? Slash, that's not how the Force works. I can't do them all. Those are a combo right there.
My number 4 is going to be like the moment we realize that Poe and Finn are bros, where like Poe shows up again and he's like, dude, and Finn's like, that's a good pilot. And I'm like, they're going to be friends next episode.
Remember those bro memes?
Bro.
My number 3, when Kylo stops the blasters.
Yeah. I'm going to make that my number 3 too. Like, that was just like, And that's the first 5 minutes of that movie, and you're
Yeah,
like,
right after, you're like, okay, we're in this. Yeah. Oh, let's see what Vader got. And then Rogue One was like, my number 2 is just straight up Finn. Everything about Finn in this movie was my number 2.
My number 2 is a Finn moment, but it's with Ray, and it's like, where we're gonna find a pilot. I am the pilot, or I forget how she phrases it. It's like, what are you doing? I'm saving you. Let go. Like that running through the market on Jakku is like,
Yeah.
fantastic.
The chemistry with the cast in this movie is undeniable. And my number 1 is the Honka junk will do, or the pilot junk, whatever. The junk will do. Yeah. Because the Falcon, the moment with the Falcon, the music, like the whole thing is just great.
And then it's like it's kind of spoiled in like the trailer, but my number 1 is just Han and Chewie walking into the Millennium Falcon. It's like, Chewie, we're home. It's like, yes.
It was. I mean, that was the second teaser that we got, or I don't think full quote unquote full trailer, but it was the second one we got. Great moment. It blew the roof off of Star Wars Celebration California, I think is where they debuted it. It was which was in 2015. That would have been 2015, early 2015. I think April, February, somewhere on there. That was fantastic. What a great time. Just everything surrounding The Force Awakens was a joy. Like watching it, going to the theater, leading up to it. We went to that pop-up shop, like we said. All of that was such a great time that I hope, because we've waited so long for the next Star Wars movie, it's already been 3 years. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's been 3 years already, which is how long we used to wait between Star Wars movies. But we're going to wait at least minimum 2 more years for Star Wars. I don't think we'll get it by next Christmas, which means they'll probably save it for the following Christmas. So we're looking at minimum 2 years. And hopefully that magic kind of comes back for that, because by that point it'll be 5 years in between movies, and that's the longest we've had to wait since 2015. So I'm anticipating good things coming in the world of Star Wars in the future.
Maybe it's for the best. It's like,
I'm not
the best. Yeah. Maybe it's for the best that like we have to wait for it. Like it's like, it works for Marvel from time, though. I feel like Marvel is getting to a point where like oversaturation is not their friend.
But I think you're right there too. But Marvel's also comic books, and comic books are this ongoing thing. When Star Wars has comics, but Star Wars is not that. They're very different.
So anyways, like we enjoy Star Wars because it's like an event movie. It's like if you're gonna churn out movies like they churn out TV shows, like it's gonna stop being an event, right? So
so Lily, and that's every time we went to the theater, those 5 years from 2015 to 2019, those 5 Christmases to watch those movies, or 4, and then Solo in May. They were events for us, right? We all got together. We bought our tickets 2 freaking months early, hated our lives trying to get them, websites crashing, all that fun stuff. But it was an event and it was fun and we looked forward to it. And I'm hoping that that strikes back whenever we get the next one. Because you're right, because if it's not an event film, what's the point?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I mean,
all right, yeah,
it's once somebody decides on what movie they're gonna make, then we can have real opinions. Otherwise, it's like
absolutely. And I hope whatever we get is what we want, Brock. I hope it's exactly what you and I demand.
Okay,
let's write what we want in Star Wars. I want a magenta Sith saber. I want a Lothcat Jedi. And we send that to KK, who, by the way, check the board, was just fired. I'm hearing reports, though, that she's stepping down in June. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled on that, because I really don't care. All right, Brock, anything else you want to say?
Fun fact about Chewbacca here. He's in Willow. Not as Chewbacca, but Junius Atamo is like a character, at least in the first episode. I don't know if he's going to come back, but he's like, there's a tall guy. I assume that was him, but he's in the credits. And I'm like, Star Wars.
It is him. I saw Kazdan tweet out that he was in it, indeed.
Yeah. No, I know. I saw his name in the credits. So I was like, oh.
Keep it in the family. Keep it in the family. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Give us a like. Give us a listen. You can listen to this wherever you get your podcasts. It's Brock. I'm James. I'm feeling like I was more scum than him, but he was always scum.
Rebel scum.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.